Yeah, we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Olumide Idowu. Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I can go on holiday.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here once again. Today, is Climate Wednesday, and today we have one of the passionate, young, and very dedicated somebody across the continent now. Her name is Ekele Jiata. I'm sure I did not murder that name. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for coming on board today to, also share with us your understanding of the issue of the Great Green Wall. I'm very happy that you answer us while we call on you. Mm, This is very, very great and very important for us. My name is Olumide Idowu, and I'm the co-founder of International Climate Change Development Initiative. You can watch us through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And today's Climate Wednesday, we are focusing on enhancing the Sahel region. We have been talking about great green work, and it has been a very impactful month for us. And today we are going to be talking focus on financing, focus on how we are putting our strength, our finance into making sure that the Sahel is more, sustainable for every country that is along the Sahel region. So, and today we have Jiata, and she's going to be sharing. We're going to be asking her some key questions. And we're going to be focusing more on Nigeria now because we are one of the country. So, let me quickly ask Jiata to introduce herself to us. Tell us what you do, where you are talking from, and what are you involved in. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me start by thanking the ICCDI for this.
We can't hear you. I think you have to speak closer to your mic, please.
Okay, my audible enough? Am I?
You can continue.
Okay. Yes, thank you for giving me this platform to speak, and it's a great privilege. My name is Jiata Ekele. I am a innovative finance and environmental artist at the Climate and Sustainable Development Network Nigeria, CSDF in short. Yes, and I'm passionate about anything that has to do with the sustainable development goals or anything that has to do with combating climate change or fostering clean environment or a better environment for people to live. Yes, that's what I'm passionate about. And we're going to be talking about the great workplace and all my friends that have been asking me about what is the great green world. I'm sure they are joining and would love to hear what I have to say. So thank you very much.
Okay. Jiata, we are struggle to hear you. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like you have two devices that is on. You are breaking. Your network is breaking.
Can you send me the link again in the chat? Maybe I'll change the device.
You said? Hello?
Change the device. Please send me again, Olumide,
You said what?
on the chat.
You want another? You want to change your device?
Yes.
So what do you want us to? What do you want me to do?
I was asking for the link.
Okay, all right. Yeah, guys, we are sorry. The network is terrible today, but we are going to be back. Yeah. Do you get it? Hello.
I'm yet to get it.
Where do you want us to send the link to? Sorry.
To the right side here.
To where?
There is a web chat.
We can't send the link to the chat. Will you log out and log in back? That would be the best. Log out from the call and log in back. Hello.
All right. All right. Let me do that.
So, guys, yeah, it happened. So we actually have some network problem, but before Giata comes back, there's been this conversation that there's need for financing and how funding can help Sahel fight desertification. And the Great Green Wall Project is a slow track due to fund, and funding is one of the key important way for us to actually get our funding done. So we just want to make sure that we talk about this financing and how funding is being implemented into what we're talking. Giata, can you speak now? Let us hear you. But you have to off the other one, the other one that you were before, please.
All right. Let me do just that.
Yes, I can hear you very well on this.
All right. Can't you log me out or something? I'm having a challenge logging out. Okay. Maybe I'll just shut down the device.
Yes, I did. Okay, so thank you very much. I want to quickly, maybe you can introduce yourself again so that we can know who you are, where you are.
All right. I said my name is Jiata Ekele. Yes, I'm an innovative climate and environmental activist at the Climate and Sustainable Development Network of Nigeria, CSDevNet in short. And I'm passionate about everything that has to do with the sustainable development goals and combating climate change or fostering the environment to be, clean or sustainable for better life. So that's basically all about me.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I want to be sure again that you are hearing me very well.
Yes, I am. Please go
Okay,
on.
so thank you very much. Yeah, we've been having this conversation for the past 1 month, focusing on the Great Green Wall, and we've had a lot of fantastic speakers, both the old and the young, talking to us on how we can make sure we restore our green land, how we can restore the land we have been, enjoying for so many times now. And I don't know whether you know about the Great Green Wall, but I know
Yes,
you
I
you
do.
do.
I've been
So
following.
we want to hear from you. What is your own understanding about the Great Green Wall, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, the the Great Green Wall is is an African-led movement with an epic ambition to grow 8,000 kilometers of natural wonder of the world across the entire width of Africa. It was birthed in 2007 by the African Union and it's also an initiative of the UNCCD, that is the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Yeah, the Great Green Wall has so many advantages. Um, these include combating desertification. Yes, that's a primary advantage. It can also consequentially combat climate change. Yes, when we talk about trees and planting of trees, we're talking about also providing a carbon sink, because globally, or should I say in the ecosystem, we have two major carbon sinks. One is the ocean, and the second carbon sink is the forest. That is the collection of trees. Trees act as a carbon sink. They help us absorb the carbon dioxide that has been causing this global warming we have been talking about for decades. Yes, so that is one advantage of this Great Green Wall initiative. Another is it's also combats drought and erosion. Trees actually they serve as a windbreaker, and they serve as a barrier for any form of erosion, whether wind or water. Mostly is wind erosion, because they are always in the desert region or regions that don't usually have water. And then another advantage of this Great Green Ball initiative is um, food security. It actually fosters food security. Let me break this down a little. When we talk about trees, the economic importance of trees are actually enormous. From food that people get from trees, from the bark of the trees, or the leaves of the trees, or the fruits and the seeds of the trees. They can also get medicinal values and medicinal properties from these trees that are being planted, or these gardens that people grow as a result of this Great Green Wall initiative. Another advantage that we cannot overlook is the fact that it combats migration and conflict. The reason why we are having some conflict in Nigeria today is because of migration. Some cattle rearers don't, they can't find the green grass they used to find for their cattle. So they are moving down south for pastures, and it's causing a lot of conflict in places like Benue, where they even have to host community meetings to, resolve some of these conflicts. If this Great Green Wall initiative is actualized, it can actually combat that. And those people that are actually migrating from the Sahel region of Africa, they can have, they have trees, their land is now fertile for them to dwell in, and they don't have to migrate looking for green pastures in other parts of the continent, and there will be less conflict. Um, let me go deeper. Let me talk about the goals of the Great Green Wall Initiative. It it's the one of the goals is to restore 100 million hectares of degraded land in Africa, and then to sequester 250 million tons of carbon dioxide, yes, as a as a form of combating climate change. Another thing is to create 10 million green jobs. Yes, when we talk about green jobs, we're talking about jobs that have to do with um, renewable energy, or sustainable agriculture. Yes, jobs like that are what we are actually talking about. I think these are basically all one. Okay, another thing is, let's talk about the partners of this Great Green Wall initiative. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the UN CCD. Then I said it was vetted by African Union. So African Union is a partner. We also have European Union. We have currently we have 21 African countries, inclusive of Nigeria. The World Bank is also involved. IUCN, yes. When we talk about conservation, yes, they are involved. FAO, agriculture, yes, they are involved. GEF too are involved in this. I think these are the
Thank
basics
you.
of how to talk about the
Thank you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was actually that was a lecture. And thanks for bringing us back to the understanding of the Great Green Wall.
Yeah.
And I think
So
a lot of people watching us from far and wide, or watching us in Nigeria or anywhere you are, you're watching us, you'll be able to understand that the Great Green Wall is actually supposed to be a national security. And this is the reason why a lot of people have been talking about how we can restore our land and how we can get nature back to where it's supposed to be. And we having this conversation is because there has been a long conversation now across the Sahel and across sub-Saharan Africa
okay.
concerning how we want to start seeing change individually, countrywide, and through the African Union. We also have the AUGGW, that's the African Union Great Green Wall Initiative. We have the Great Green Wall Initiative itself under the UCCD. Then we also have the Nigerian Great Green Wall, the agency that is actually working towards this. So this is my question to you because our conversation today is going to be very, very short. But one key thing here is that we just have to get this message straight out today. Do you think government is investing into the Great Green Wall in Nigeria? And what has been the effort the government has been putting in investing into the Great Green Wall?
Um, Let me start with a yes. Let me just narrow this answer down to what we have in Nigeria. The basics is that Nigeria has the second largest of the Great Green Wall intervention area, which comprises of 17.4 mega hectares. And with this large hectares of land involved, this comprises of mostly the northern states. We expect to see more results in Nigeria, but presently, according to UNCCD reports last year, 2020, Nigeria just produced and planted 8 million trees and created 1,396 jobs with focuses on Kebbi and Borno State. This is still, to me, this is not enough. We are 13 years into this Great Green Wall initiative, and we are supposed to be seeing plenty results. The Great Green Wall set a timeline of 2030, and we're just 9 years apart from that time. And we're just like we're still roughly trying to hit the 15% target, and it's not enough. The Great Green Wall Initiative needs funding. There's no doubt about that. Sometime last year, ending, African ministers even gathered together to, call for support that this Great Green Wall Initiative needs funding, and it needs a lot of funding in many areas. To me, Nigeria is not there yet. We still need to finance the advocacy part. It's not all about planting trees. What about creating awareness for this campaign? There are some people that don't even know anything about the Great Green Wall, and they need to plant trees. So I think they have to start financing the planting of trees, and they have to start financing awareness for this initiative. Can even call for global change makers or national celebrities to, get involved in this, or even the national broadcasting networks to, get involved in this. For instance, now you Olumide, that is you're coming out to do something like this. I'm not sure you're getting much funding to support what you are doing, or someone that wants to, create this awareness. The person might be constrained by lack of data or something. So there is a need for finance in this kind of areas. And one of the we I just feel that there's also a need to combat deforestation. We are planting trees, but some other places in the country are they are seriously cutting down those trees. Places like Niger, cutting down trees for charcoal. It's disheartening, and there are a lot of things that needs to be done in Nigeria, and I feel the government should do more. They should, and if it requires them, calling or for support or for funding, they should. The Great Green Wall Initiative is too important to be ignored or to be sidelined or something.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Giata. Let me quickly take us back to some information and what the Great Green was. More than 13 years after the Great Green War,
Yes,
uh,
yes,
initiative was started by the African Union to address desertification and climate change in the region. But the project also was due to funds was due because it was due for funding because of lack of commitment. And like we know that the Great Green Wall to restore needs like 100 meters, 100 million hectares land by 2030. And
mm,
looking at the kind of commitment that people were putting into it, only 4 million hectares being restored between 2007 and 2019. So what's going to happen to the remaining close to 86 million hectares of land? So the concern is that the 11 countries located along the southern border of the Sahara need to do a very good contribution to make sure that everybody, no one is left behind in the issue of Great Green Wall. And according to the conference on the One Planet, and everybody was started making commitments, like the likes of the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. In January, he announced the $14 billion to scale up. And if we are having $14 billion to scale up Great Green Wall, then by default, Nigeria should be talking about how we're going to implement. But presently, we have not even talking about how we're going to gather this fund or look for way to apply for this fund to help us drive more investment. So it is a very, very broad conversation when it comes to financing a particular initiative and financing a support. And there are a lot of ways as well that this grant can also help people. It is meant for the livelihood of the people, and most
yes,
especially as Senegal, that is one of the receiving country, and is also going to help them to create job opportunities for almost million of people in their country and in Africa, and which the United Nations have already also said something about it. So thank you very much for those contribution. I'm very, very, very happy for that contribution. And I'm sure we will be able to do more as we continue. So quick one. Can you
Okay, let's
share?
go.
Can you tell us? Let us talk about the tree planting. Now, because you mentioned about some things there. Do you think the government is actually investing in tree planting? Do you think they have that zeal, that spirit to push tree planting to the next level? Because this is one of the way whereby we can grow more trees, we can restore our earth and restore nature. So what do you think about that? Do you think there's enough funding into that sector?
Um, I don't think there's enough funding, and even if there is funding, I think the funding are not going to the right places for the implementation of this project and for this tree planting. We don't want a situation whereby funds will be released and the youths that are supposed to be involved in this project that are supposed to be
I think we lost Giata there. Giata, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Giata? Hello? Okay, I think we just missed our speaker and we are still live on Climate Wednesday. We are talking about financing the Sahel region. This is going to be a conversation for the Nigerian purpose. And because the Sahel is a very big region where the Great Green Wall is a project, is an initiative that need to be funded, and we need more money. In the post-COVID era, and a lot of Sahel, a lot of countries actually were struggling with budgets and funding to use to continue this to continue this initiative called the Great Green Wall. And that's why we need a financial requirement. I think we need financial requirement and to fast track achievement of this goal. And this is very important. And like I said, this will also contribute to the Great Green Wall goal with a target of restoring the target of the 100 million hectares of degraded land, and the 25 million tons of carbon, and creating 10 million green jobs. To create 10 million green jobs, we need to be committed, we need to be passionate, we need to understand what the Great Green Wall is all about. And financing the Sahel region is going to give us more understanding of why the Great Green Wall is very important. Everybody is talking about the Great Green Wall, but have anybody been able to understand what it entails? Have anybody able to understand that we need data, we need funding to make sure that we can be able to talk more about this issue? Because funding is one of the key mechanism for us to move. So the funding around under the Great Green Wall, which was launched, I think it was during 2021 meeting, that currently that it was a conference that was chaired by the Pan African Agency of the Great Green Wall. So it's a big conversation that without enough money or enough financing or enough partnership and collaboration, we'll be losing a lot. Let me bring our speaker back so that she can continue our conversation. Okay,
um,
welcome.
apologies for the network challenge.
No problem, no problem. It's happened.
So I was talking about yes, the need for finance, and we don't want a situation, because I've seen that, where fundings will be given to plant trees and some youth will be called upon to implement this project, and they will be used as volunteers without anything, without stipends. It's not encouraging. So if there is no fund, there's need for calls for funding, and I'm sure the government will always get funds when they want to get funds. If they really want to get funds for this project, they will. And when they do, they should um, they should disseminate these funds appropriately to the right channels that needs this work to be done in Nigeria. So that's basically it.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think you've mentioned two key things here concerning the tree planting. You know, we see there are a lot of organizations now planting trees, different states. I commend, let me say, their effort in doing that because it is by collaboration and collective efforts that can make us to actually achieve the tree planting we're talking about. And bringing the financing part of it, financial part of it, is just for us to see how can we also track the ones that we already have because the government, the Nigerian Great Green Wall Initiative Agency also have been tapping into this funding opportunity for years or since the project have
Mhm.
started. But the point here is how many of this funding is being used towards the grassroots movement, towards implementing a strategy that will change the narrative of everyone. So, and that's why I actually want us to see that financing doesn't mean that money to eat or money to buy. Finance in this kind of conversation is how we can use finance to drive conversation, to drive local actions. So it's also very, very, very important to start looking at that level of tree planting. So
I think
now,
you're making a point to Olumide. Financing can also be giving out seeds, improved seeds, seedlings of trees. It mustn't be money for this or money for that. Disseminating these seedlings out to the villages that needs this tree planting. That can also be a form of aid in this Sahel, this Great Green Wall initiative in the Sahel region.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before I leave you to go, let me quickly ask you that uh, uh, concerning this conversation today, what is going to be your message to the young people, your message to the youths, yeah, to the young people, your message to private sector, your message to the government in driving finance for the issue of the Great Green Wall? What is going to be your message to them?
Let me start by commending the civil societies out there that are doing tree planting voluntarily. You guys are doing a great job. Yes, to combat climate change and to combat desertification through tree planting. It's a good work, and you people should keep it up. All the civil societies out there, and to the youth, we need more awareness. When you know something good, please tell others. Don't keep the knowledge to yourself. It's a good thing for the youth to share this knowledge and share this initiative with their friends, with their families, and the likes. Tell them about it. The educational sector can teach these things, the importance of these things to students, and how they can, implement these initiatives in their communities. Um,
To the government?
I will say it. I've said it before. The government, the governments are key drivers to They are real agents of change, and you can't excuse the place of leadership in any community or any society. So please, Nigerian government, when you get fundings to good initiatives, please disseminate these fundings. And when you call for volunteers, please, volunteers are not slaves. Please encourage them to do what they are supposed to do. So that's basically what
Okay,
I want to
okay, thank you.
also. Yes. At the beginning, when we're having that network challenge, I was thanking ICCDI for giving me this platform. Yes, and all the organizers of this Climate Wednesday. I think this is the second time you're hosting me, and this time it's um, it's it's on video. So
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Yes, I'm
Thank you
thanking
very
the
much.
organizations too for giving me the opportunity to be an activist and a platform to, lead in
Yeah.
this kind of action sector.
Okay, so thank you very much. And let me quickly say this on the call that the financing the Sahel region is supposed to help us to restore degrading land, save biological diversity, as well as create green jobs and build the resilience of the people. And this is why we need to start talking about the importance of the Great Green Wall and why financing is supposed to be going towards that initiative. Because it's going to help our degrade land, it's going to actually also save our biological diversity, and it's going to
Yes,
create green jobs for young people, old people, everybody, including building resilience for the people across the continent. One of our speakers says here on the platform one day that until we start prioritizing people before profits, then we start seeing the need that the nature is very, very important to us. So I want to use the opportunity to say that, Jetta, thank you very much for giving us that information about what the government need to do, what the young people need to do, and other things that we need to start doing to make sure that our environment is more sustainable for everyone. So I want to use that. I promise to not to take much of our time for today, but I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to everybody. Panshak, thank you. Edidion, thank you. Omede, thank you. Mohammed, thank you. It's very, very a spectacular conversation, and I'm very sure that you all really enjoy Giata for a short presentation, but very, very detailed. That was very fantastic. You can surely watch this video again, and you can also check back to see more other conversation we have been having. And thank you very much, Mr. Femi. Thank you, Omede, again. A remarkable point highlighted here by the guests. Awareness creation, ignorance has been another major challenges in this regard. I say yes, awareness creation. Thank you, Giata. Awareness creation is very, very key for us to drive financing for the Sahel region, for us to keep telling people that we need financing, we need fund to make sure that the Great Green Wall Project keeps thriving, keep moving on, so that we can have a conducive forest, we can have an environment that is going to be for everybody. So I want to use this opportunity to say thank you and wish you a great weekend ahead, a great week, and a beautiful evening. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again. Today is very, very short conversation with our sister Giata on Climate Wednesday. I'm very sure you are ready to hear our next focus for May, and you'll be seeing that on our social media platform very soon. Please stay connected. Let us engage. Same time, same day next week. Have a blessed evening. Bye.